It's time again, folks. Another race hoax. An Allentown, Pennsylvania city employee is being charged after she allegedly placed a noose on her own desk back in January. Latarsha Brown, yes, that Latarsha, is accused of filing a false police report after authorities found only her DNA on the rope. Oh. Wait, you can find DNA on a rope? Oh, boy. I better pick up some wet wipes on the way home. But it says something that the only racism story in the news is a fake one. And that's good news. But you know what they say? If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. Which these days includes hate crimes. Because when it comes to racism, the demand is often greater than the supply. It's like the opposite of a new Kilmeade book. Wow. Tyrus, I go to you for no reason at all. Do you think that the media incentivizes this behavior? Because victims do get a big payoff.
Not just that, they don't incentivize, they encourage it, and then when they get caught, they cradle them.
Yeah.
You know, this is Juicy 2.0. This is Juicy Smollett all over again. And the sad part is that this was used to galvanize other people. And it's funny, the people that were running to her aid was white people.
Yeah.
And that's who she was alleging was doing this, you know? So, and when they were doing the investigation, this is the part that, like, they need to throw the book at her because not just of the fact that she was doing this, but her position and what it meant. She got the whole city, they're like, oh, we need to figure more out about racism because apparently this is running in our halls, and it wasn't. She did it. Her DNA was on it, and when they were doing the investigation, she asked them to stop.
Yes.
If there was a noose on my desk, I ain't stopping no one to stop. But the only thing I'm going to ask the police is not arrest them. Just let them talk to me for a few minutes before you take them in. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you know, and and it's so sad that even when she's out, her DNA is all over it. Her best friend who helped galvanize the protests and stuff, they still say, well, we don't really know if it was her. And then the mayor came out with a real great statement going, well, it's just brought us closer to talking about inclusion in the city. That, fire that bitch, racist pig, and get her out. Like,
Jim, are you planning any hoaxes of your own?
Yes, I am. I'm going to go home and tell my wife I was faithful. No, you know, the problem, you know her punishment should be, besides being fired, is she should be forced to, on video, walk you through exactly what she was doing. Like, and this is when I got the noose, and then I had to put the noose in my purse. And then this is where I put the noose, and then I called Frank and told him there's a noose in my... That humiliator, and this should not be a misdemeanor. Hoaxing a hate crime and involving the police should be a felony. And then people would stop doing it because it was her, it was just Juicy Smollett. And even before that, the hysteria around the Bubba Wallace.
Oh,
you remember it in NASCAR? Yeah. Where I think it was just, they had just used it to pull down the garage door.
Right.
Had nothing to do with him. But this obsession with nooses in 2025, when a lot of us use them for very, very helpful orgasm purposes.
I have no idea what he's talking about, Aaron. No idea at all. I haven't heard about that at all. Yeah, it does seem like she might be about a few years too late in this trend because none of these have turned out to be true. And why did she do it now? She should have done it in 2017.
She shouldn't do it at all because she's lying. But she's trying to, like, be part of this narrative that there's this rampant racism here in the United States. If it was so rampant, this would have actually happened, but it didn't happen. And so this whole fallacy that they're trying to sell, it's dangerous because God forbid something like this did actually happen. She has wasted the time and the resources of her community for a story just for her to get attention. That is some sociopathic behavior. Not only should she lose her job, but this is a time where she should have to pay restitution back, and there should be other means for this because what she did really put more people in danger just because she's trying to perpetrate a narrative. If
Smollett had been put in actual jail, then that would have been the best disincentive for this behavior, but he wasn't, Kennedy. Shouldn't a hate crime hoax be seen as a hate crime?
Yes, in and of itself, that is so meta, Greg.
Thank you so
But I
much.
look at this and I go, Latarsha, Latarsha, Latarsha.
Yes.
And it reminds me of the time I found a pair of fur-lined bondage handcuffs on my desk. And I immediately called security. And I asked them to stop and frisk. And I said, the only way to find out who this is, officer, is to put your DNA on this. Because I'm a giver and apparently a receiver. And
I've apologized so many times for the mistake with the fur handcuffs.
I mean, the fur was very considerate, I have to say. Way less friction.
It seems so redundant to put fur on handcuffs, if you ask me.
A lot of raccoons had to die for those handcuffs.